the sun, riding sun in and over your shoulders. So I went to go watch If. It stands for Imaginary Friend, or Imaginary Friends. Either way, it's a new film directed, produced and written by John Krasinski. You know the guy who did A Quiet Place 2? He also wrote A Quiet Place Day 1, which is coming out very soon. Like, John Krasinski is building himself up a reputation for being a pretty good storyteller. So yeah, John Krasinski has this film about imaginary friends. It stars Ryan Reynolds.
And I brought it to this up-and-coming actor named Ryan Reynolds. And he and I were talking about doing a movie together. And I said, I have this idea about imaginary friends, and I'm still figuring out exactly what it would be about, but would you want to be a part of it? And he was like, yes.
But there's plenty of voice actors in this, like Steve Carell.
My character Blue, well, oddly, is purple. So that's the first thing that's going to trip you up a little bit.
Emily Blunt, Awkwafina, George Clooney, Bradley Cooper, Matt Damon, Bill Hader, Richard Jenkins, Keegan-Michael Key, Blake Lively even makes an appearance, Sam Rockwell, Brad Pitt, Jon Stewart even, Christopher Maloney.
I can find anyone, anywhere. Go!
A young actor called Cailey Fleming. You may have seen her in iconic films such as Star Wars: The Force Awakens. It's about a young girl who goes through a difficult experience and begins to see everyone's imaginary friends who have been like left behind by their real life friends who have just all grown up now.
And so I thought, if I do a movie through the eyes of this little girl and actually show how imagination is not only this powerful tool to have fun, but also this enormous coping mechanism to make sense of things that might be difficult to make sense of otherwise.
I'm going to cut to the chase. I didn't like this film. I thought it was very boring. John Krasinski annoyed me as this dad who's just kind of like, I'm going to do these crappy jokes like leave a note saying that I've left and then I'm going to be hiding in the closet. It's like, oh my days. Seriously, that's the humor we've got here. Okay. Ryan Reynolds doesn't really bring much to the table apart from do his Ryan Reynolds stuff. Hi, I'm Ryan Reynolds and I do these little quips. Alright, thanks mate. Whilst watching this film, the only thing I could think of was Rick Mayall in Drop Dead Fred. This film came out in 1991 and at the time it was probably one of my favourite films.
You know, I used to pretend I had an imaginary friend. No one believed me.
Over the years though, yeah, the film is just, it's okay. It's not great. But it is miles better than Imaginary Friends. However, I think kids are really going to gravitate towards Imaginary Friends. And if you have kids, nephews, nieces, I'd recommend you going to take them to see this film because they'll actually enjoy it. Like there's the ladybug character, the big giant purple character. Visually, there's a lot for children to like in this film. And then for adults, there's a story that progresses, and if you like stories that are just kind of like boring, then you're gonna love Imaginary Friends.
Hello?
What? Can you? Oh God.
Another film that If reminded me of was another live action / animation film called Who Framed Roger Rabbit. They had to handcraft the animation, whereas nowadays all you do is click on the computer and boom, it's done. Give it a few years and just AI will do everything for you. And if you want to watch a film that incorporates live action and animation to perfection, then you have to watch this film, as in Who Framed Roger Rabbit. But back to If. I mean, how many ifs do we actually have? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. We've got 6 ifs. And I've only seen one of them. So that If, 2024's If, is the best If that I've ever seen. But it's also the worst. It's a bit like me talking about Night Swim. I'm giving this film 1.5 stars. Boring, uninteresting, and for me, completely skippable.
A lot of people that, they'll ask me what I'm up to. I'll say, I'm shooting this film about imaginary friends. I've talked to people who are in their 30s, 40s, and 50s who will talk about, oh man, I miss my imaginary friends. I had 2 when I was a kid, and their names were this and that. And they would kind of go into this sort of wistful, nostalgic, and not the least of which emotional kind of reverie of when they were kids.